From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour.
Welcome to Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour, where we explore the many issues that arise due to aging, disability, and unexpected illness. I'm your co-host, Tim Takacs.
And I'm Barbara McGinnis. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about tools and technologies that can help you age in place. And we'll actually be demonstrating some of those things today. We'll be mixing it up in other ways as well. You'll meet many more of the Takacs McGinnis staff as they introduce various vendors and products. To start with, we have Michelle Tomerlin from Guardian Medical Monitoring System. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And one of the biggest reasons that seniors wind up going to the hospital has to do with either medication management problems or falls. What does Guardian Medical have to do to help with some of those problems?
Well, Guardian has a full line of different products and services to help those folks.
You have stuff with you.
We do.
We do.
We do.
Okay.
We actually have personal emergency response systems, or a lot of people just know them as medical alerts, and we also have the medication assistance devices as well.
So show us what this big blue thing is and how does
Which
that
one
work?
do you start?
Okay. Well, this is the Med Ready.
Yeah.
The Med Ready is a medication dispenser. It can do up to 4 weeks worth of medication.
Wow.
It's very handy dandy in that you actually just open this up and you have cartridges here. We also have a nice little helper here to kind of let them set up.
What's that helper there? Is that like?
This is actually a key to help them fill it like they would a normal med box.
Okay.
And so it's not only color coded, it's also number coded by dose as well. So you can do up to 4 weeks, as I mentioned, but if they take it twice a day, then it's 2 weeks. These actually can come out. So it can be filled either by the individual themselves if they're able to do that.
Right.
It can be filled by a family member. They can contract with a nurse or a home health agency to come and fill that. Or you can actually work with a local pharmacy. They can fill it. They usually put like a clear plastic wrap on it. That way a non-medical caregiver could actually go pick it up, put it in the machine, pull off the plastic, put the lid back on, lock it up, and they've never had to place their hands on the medication in order to do that.
Very interesting.
So you're good to go then, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So how would a person know when it was time to take medicines? What happens?
Okay, so with the Med Ready, it actually will give a beeping sound to let them know that they're about to receive instructions. We will remind them up to 3 times to take their medication. If they don't answer by the 3rd time, then Guardian will actually pick up the phone and call them on their personal phone to remind them, Mrs. Smith, it's time to take your medication. When it goes off, it'll actually have printed information here. This door will unlock. You simply slide it open and their medication for that particular dose is there. And again, it's also where they can take it out by their hand, or if they need assistance from a caregiver, they can actually pick the unit up and dispense it in their hand without them having to touch the medication.
Okay, so that's one way that Guardian helps with medications.
Absolutely.
Is this another?
It is. This is the Atmo 8600. This is actually my favorite of the units that we have. This will do up to 6 weeks worth of medication. It can dispense up to 25 pills, depending on the size of the pill, of course, in this little tub here.
Little plastic thing right there.
Absolutely.
Little silo cup, I guess.
Absolutely. And one of the wonderful things about this machine, besides the fact that it will dispense up to 6 weeks worth of medication, it actually can do PRN or as needed medication as well.
Oh, wow.
The way that they fill that is we have a card right here. Excuse me while I grab that. Works just like a standard med box.
Can you set it?
I can.
There you go.
Works just like a standard med box where they would put those tubes in here and they would go Sunday through Saturday. They would fill it as they would any other normal med box.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. And then when those are all filled, they would simply unlock this unit and they would be put into the tubs. They would program when those dosages are to be taken, and when it's time again, there's a beeping sound to let them know that it's time to take that medication. It will verbally tell them in the speaker here. It will print out instructions, and this will light up for them to be able to push the button and dispense that medication.
And it dispenses it right here in the front?
Correct, it does. A couple of things that are important about both of these units is they do lock, so they are appropriate for assisted living environments as well. They do meet those regulations and standards.
Okay.
With the PRN medication or the as-needed medication, a nice feature with the MO8600, it does have voice prompts that you can record in there. As an example, let's say that you have a patient that has congestive heart failure. One of the things doctors will tell them to do is to weigh themselves every morning. Oftentimes that's one of the first areas that people are non-compliant. They simply forget to weigh themselves. You can program this at any time when they get up at 7:30 in the morning and say, "Mom, it's time to weigh yourself." Mom goes about weighing herself. If she has more than a 2 to 4 pound weight gain, whatever the doctor tells them, then she's to take her diuretic. If that's the case, she pushes the button. It would release the medication. If she's not gained any weight, she simply doesn't take it. These can actually print out how many times they have to take their PRN or doesn't. That gives the doctor a lot of information as to, is our treatment regimen working or is it not working?
So mom weighs herself. Is there like a scale that tells the doctor or the machine anything?
It does not. We hope it's incumbent upon the person when they weigh themselves that hopefully if they remember to weigh themselves, they'll also write down their weight as well. But even if they don't remember, again, they're getting information based on the fact that they did or did not take their as-needed medication. So if they have a weight gain, even if they don't write it down, they're going to take that medication. The doctor will be aware of that because we do monitor all these, and those individuals that are on a HIPAA form with Guardian Medical Monitoring will receive that report every single month or at will that they can print out and take to the doctor with them.
So how does the monitoring work, Michelle? I mean, is it Wi-Fi in your house or is it I mean, is it real? It's obviously real-time monitoring.
It is.
So how does that work?
It's remote. So whenever they take medication, dispense medication from this, a notation is made on Guardian's end that they took that medication or that dosage, and then we send that report to them. Usually electronically. We can send it by fax as well, but it's usually generally by email.
So it's going to be somehow to the residents network or something like that.
Correct.
This is maybe more IT than we need, but I'm just thinking about if I'm a person, I'm going, okay, what in addition do we need if I want one of these boxes?
Absolutely. Well, you will need to have internet in your home.
Gotcha. So basically, and which is probably most people will have internet.
Yes.
And someone comes out and they set it up and make sure it's working and whatever.
Correct.
So why would I want this box or that box? The difference between the two boxes?
Well, again,
they seem like they do the same thing.
They do very similar things, but again, this one is a cell-based unit. It actually, if they wanted to go to Florida for the summer or for the winter, they pick it up and take it with them. They just need to let Guardian know where their location has changed. This one does up to 4 weeks worth of medication. This one does 6 weeks worth of medication, and this one also dispenses as needed medication. So that's the major difference. It's not only the size and the quantity of medication that it dispenses, but also that it has the as needed capabilities as well.
That's the travel version.
Correct.
Okay, in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Yes.
It looks like this would also be able to manage larger medicines or larger quantities of pills that this one does.
Absolutely. This one can do around 14 pills, again, depending on the size of the pill, and this one can do up to 25 depending on the size of the pill.
And it sounds like to me, if my mother were living in an assisted living, then either one of these they can both lock. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
So it would all both be appropriate for assisted living.
Absolutely, it would be. A lot of assisted livings have their own medication program, but this is a really good tool to have in place for those folks that are working with a finite budget. Maybe they can afford the room and board in an assisted living, but they can't afford the medication program, but they need that in order to be accommodated there. This is a really good opportunity for them to be able to enter into an assisted living.
So our viewers are going to want to know how much this costs and whether Medicare pays for it.
Absolutely.
Or any insurance.
Well,
pays
right
for it.
now the only insurance coverage that we have for any of our services is through the Choices program, which is the Tennessee Medicaid Waiver Program, and it will cover our personal emergency response devices.
But not this.
Correct, not currently.
Not currently.
We also are a participant in several of the options programs throughout the state of Tennessee. So if they're not in the Choices program, they can call an area agency on aging and inquire about the options program and possibly get our services through that.
Okay. So you're going to tell us how much does this cost monthly?
This runs around $60 per month.
Gotcha. And that one is
This one runs around $40.
Gotcha. Let's talk about the other two devices.
Well, this is our personal emergency response, Global Go Anywhere PERS, and it's actually one of my favorite. We have a full line of different personal emergency response devices. This one in particular does what the name says. It goes anywhere they do. If their cell phone works there, this works. It actually has a rechargeable base. This is the unit they would wear either by a clip or a lanyard around their neck. It has built-in fall detection, built-in two-way communication right in the pendant itself, and it has GPS technology. So if someone were to become unconscious or pass out and could not tell us where they were, it would go off because the built-in fall detection, but
Yeah.
it would also give us the capability of locating them to get them the appropriate help through the GPS technology.
Okay. And how much does that cost
This runs around $40 as well.
a month?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the geographical range? How far away can they get?
Anywhere in the country.
Anywhere.
Wow.
Anywhere in the country. I actually
Right.
have my mother and my mother-in-law on this.
Right. Middle of nowhere, it works.
Absolutely.
Great.
And it's a cell base, has its own IP address, just like your cell phone would.
Okay.
Right. Okay. What's the last thing?
The last thing we have is the virtually there care cameras, and these can be put in someone's home. They can have one camera, they can have 20 cameras. We have fixed cameras, and we also have those cameras that have the 360-degree range in it. This really allows people like myself. I have kids at home, I have adult children, I have both parents still living, and I still work full-time. If we have someone they're working and they want to check in on mom, make sure she's doing okay, a caregiver, they can go on their smartphone, on their iPad, on their desktop, as long as they have the password to get in there. They can click on whichever camera they like and they'll be able to view mom or dad or whoever it is that they're trying to look after.
Right.
Yay.
Awesome.
Okay.
And then, so does it do recording?
It can. It does not record, and it actually is not watching all the time. It's activated and turned on by the
Gotcha.
action of the person that's going to check in. So
Okay.
it's not just looking all the time. But if there was a need to record, if there was a concern about theft or abuse or anything like that, they could request that from Guardian that it be recorded from a certain period of
Gotcha.
time.
And actually, you can have more than one of those in your house.
Absolutely, you can. You can have them anywhere in the house. Again, you just simply click on the square for whatever camera that you want to view.
Great.
We
All
have
right.
contact information.
We do. Let's put that up on the screen. There you go.
All right.
All right. So you're Michelle Tomerlin.
Yes,
Great. You're with Guardian Medical Monitoring.
that's correct.
All right. So thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you for
so
having
all of
me.
those out there, if you'll stay with us, up next will be our attorney, our associate attorney, Chris Johnson, who will be demonstrating another monitoring device, the electronic caregiver. So don't go away.